Hi there. Today I'm lucky enough to be in the noise and bustle of Miami Beach in Florida, where later today Wine Search are taking part in James Suckling's Great Wines of the World tasting. So very much looking forward to that. And I thought I'd get myself in the mood by tasting a Sonoma Coast Chardonnay. So this is Flowers 2021 Sonoma Coast Chardonnay. So we're in California. The wine is from California, and one of the more popular wineries from this particular region. So cool climate region along by the coast, and the Flowers, Jean and Walt, were pioneers of this region that sort of has climatic influences that combine the cooling of the ocean. You know, for instance, their Camp Meeting Ridge Vineyard is about 2 miles from the sea, and it's also cooled by altitude. It's at 1,500 feet above sea level, with the idea of producing more sort of elegant wines. So, as I say, they started planting in the early 1990s and worked with a few other viticulturists in the area, sort of buying fruit as well. The winery's ethos is to produce fruit organically, and they have some biodynamic practices as well. So, and you know, looking at using ambient yeasts and the like. 2021, quite a warm vintage, quite dry, an early harvest giving concentrated fruit, but a small crop. The vineyard, the wine is a combination of 4 vineyards, their own Camp Meeting Ridge Vineyard, and they buy from Wildcat Ridge, Anderson Russell, I think it is, and Bohan Ranch. So four different fruit sources going into this. The wine, the fruit is hand-picked. It's pressed as whole bunches in a bladder press, so very gentle pressing to get very clean juice. It then ferments with its own ambient yeast. It's in barrel for 10 months with yeast lees. It undergoes malolactic conversion in that barrel, but the lees aren't stirred, so they're not trying to make this an enormous fat wine by sort of adding weight or gras, as the French would say from that. The oak used is French oak, 100%. There's 18% of that is new. So let's have a look at the wine and see what we make of it. We've got a medium yellow colour here, so medium to pale, I suppose. Swirling it. There's a rich creaminess coming from the nose that's, you know, very distinct dairy aromas. I suppose they're overlaying notes of sort of peachy white fruit. And there are toasty vanilla notes from the oak coming through as well there. There's some fair legs coming down the glass as well. I mean, this is not the greatest tasting glass I've ever used, but yeah, the tears running there have some weight. The wine has 13.5% alcohol, evidently, so not as heavy as some Chardonnays, but you'd expect some weight and richness there. So let's have a taste. One has a lemony crispness, but it's very quickly overwhelmed by rich butterscotchy fruit, toasty oak. You know, there's lots of elements going on there to make this a very rich, deep Chardonnay, and the flavours are lasting well. Actually, there's a toastiness, a mealiness. People talk about mealiness with Marceau, and it's definitely showing that sort of side of things. But the acidity is good enough that it's keeping it fresh. There's a lemoniness coming through there. I suppose the alcohol is adding a little bit of weight to the back palate and roundness, and that's sort of rounding out that sort of stone fruit note. There's a sort of a peachiness, and the flavours are persisting really well. Yes, there are notes. There's slight sort of gunflint hints. There's fermentation aromas from the wild ferment going on there. So there's complexity as well, overlaying the richness of the wine. I think, to me, a very typical ripe, rich, full Chardonnay from California. So yeah, that was Flowers Sonoma Coast Chardonnay 2021. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you find it interesting, and if you happen to be in Miami Beach, Florida, come and join us at the Great Wines of the World tasting. Bye now.